You're listening to episode 75 of Fresh Floppies.
3/4 of a century.
Yeah.
Is that math? Did I do that?
Do you think there's any listeners that are 75 plus?
Oh, I hope so. Email us or send us a
Dentures.
pigeon. Send us your dentures.
But only priority mail.
Hey, what's up there, sidekicks and henchmen out there in the Geek Nation? Thanks for joining us on this very special episode of Fresh Floppies, a show wherein Noel and I, JD, discuss comic books that are coming out. New Comic Book Day. If you don't know, every Wednesday is New Comic Book Day.
It's true.
NCBD. And we will review the books, a handful of them, a smattering of books that are
a selected choice. A curated selection of the most
printed comics out this week.
Sure.
Hey,
what's a comic?
No. But no spoilers. So listen, calm down about it.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about the floppies, the periodicals, the chapters in an ongoing story of your favorite characters. I don't know why I'm talking like this now. Let's go. Oh, what's the first one?
I'll tell you, it's Joshua Williamson's and Tom Riley's and Jordi Belair's G.I. Joe #1 from Image Comics with a cover price of $4.99.
This is the fifth.
Thank you for. Okay, I wasn't sure. There's like 4 miniseries, and now finally we've got the Joes.
G.I. Joe, yeah.
I gotta say, minor peaks and valleys along the way. Mm-hmm. Overall, this entire Energon universe has been the dopest.
I actually agree with that assessment that they have been pretty damn dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what about this one?
Well, this one is
also dope.
The creative team of the best miniseries, and it's great. And I don't think that you need to have read any of those fucking miniseries to enjoy or even understand what's going on.
I'm glad I did.
Sure.
But you don't need to.
Yeah, I'm of two minds about it. Like it's net positive. Most of them were fun, but very little of this issue has kind of revealed to me that all but maybe one of those miniseries was side quests. Maybe 1.5. Half of the Duke one and half of the Cobra one, but so far the Destro and the Scarlet one are just like side quests of what's happening over here that have nothing to do with the beginning of this. They could have just been later arcs because they're not
like flashback
relevant.
Kind of things.
Either flashback or this is going on somewhere else. Like if it was to create runway, great, but building to something, I don't know. Even the note in the back here from Williamson is like, I can't wait to play with all the toys, but I'm going to take my time. I'm like, well then,
we've been taking our time.
Well, yeah, we're this is the 5th miniseries in, my dude. Yeah. Actually 6th if you want to count Transformers. Yeah. Like
which is the best one, in my opinion.
Yeah, sure. So like, despite that, I really really enjoyed this, but I like if in the shop, if somebody was asking the question, I'd be like, no, just jump in, read this. If you like this, go grab Duke. If you're at all confused about the silver-plated face bad guys in their very Nata-esque suits that are bad guys, you can go find out how bad they are. But I think you understand that they're, air quotes, the bad guys. Yeah. So,
are we the baddies?
Yeah. So yes, the alliance between Destro and Cobra, how and why they have the weapons they have. Sure, that's all in other miniseries. But is it entirely relevant to this Meet the Team first issue? No, not at all.
Nah, I would say just Duke, honestly. With like introduction of Baroness and who she was originally, and now she's on the team, but
like even smash cut dialogue here is fine with she was a prisoner. Like they even do a flashback of where she was. So like I love this. This is like a 4-star book.
Well, this is how first issue should be. Even if there are lead-ins to it, you should be able to jump into this with no problem.
I guess what I'm trying to articulate is I want people to understand that they do not have to do fucking homework for this comic.
Right.
Read this comic.
Yes, for sure.
Even though there are other miniseries out there, they almost stand alone in their prequelness.
Even if you weren't around for G.I. Joe.
No, just you can
I know so many people come to my shop who've never read G.I. Joe or Transformers, and they're all in on Energon.
Yeah.
The Energon U. That's so good. Also, we'd be remiss if we did not bring up Tom Riley again. Every time Tom Raleigh does a book, I am so excited.
Every TT Raleigh.
It's so good. His cartooning is so excellent.
Yeah, this is really good. And there's like fun references to the cartoon in here. There's fun.
I like how they explain
designs.
away something that's classically cartoon G.I. Joe in this. It was very cool. I love that.
Yeah, and the color work too is fantastic.
Jordy Belair
this
killing
isn't a wonderful superhero comic. I wouldn't even call this like a military comic. It's very, very high sci-fi, superhero-y.
Also, Cobra Commander's outfit is even cooler than it used to be.
I don't know, dude. I really liked the proto giant fedora from the miniseries. With what is he like? Took blood and drew a smiley face on it.
That was pretty dope too.
That guy, I will read an entire miniseries of. This guy of just like, he looks a little less fresh. Do you remember the G.I. Joe series from IDW a couple years ago, the City on Fire?
No.
You only read, I think, the first issue. That was awesome.
Yeah?
It was like a complete redo, and it's only like 13 issues.
Oh, that's the one you... Right.
I keep telling you to read.
City on Fire.
Wasn't
there one that was just Cobra that was really good too?
No.
Is that another one?
I mean, that was forever ago.
Yeah.
That was back...
I know the one you're talking about.
Cage.
You've been espousing that for years.
Cobra is a giant tech company. Mm-hmm. And the way that they did Cobra Commander and the way that they did G.I. Joe is just like actual little like... basically insurgency cells across the country, not a organized.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
I keep
Absolutely
meaning to get to it, and there's too much to read. This was fresh AF.
Yeah, fresh AF. Great first issue. If there's an extra on the rack, grab it.
Now, you and I, being the only 4 people on the internet who enjoyed Amazing Spider-Man.
Who are the other 2?
Josh and Connor from iFanboy. I've been catching up on their shows, and I'm like. Way to go, guys. Way to have good opinions. I like you.
You agree with me.
Yes, I like you. I love that series for the most part, and then was not looking forward to Joe Kelly writing, taking over for the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man, starting with issue 61, Legacy issue 955 by Joe Kelly, McGinnis, Farmer, and Meniz. Was not looking forward to this at all, especially given last issue where we got like maybe a 5 to 6 pager of Joe Kelly and Mark Buckingham leading into this. Didn't care for that very much. God damn it. This was great. I don't know how much Ed McGuinness contributes to my enjoyment of a Spidey book, but it's gorgeous top to bottom. The colors are fantastic. I don't know who did that middle bit.
It might have been him, just different
the
colors.
Doctor Strange stuff. But this was way better than I thought it would be. I had a blast with this. The dialogue is snappy and fun. I love his Peter Parker. I love the whole thing with Burnout in the beginning and the skyscrapers and trying to collect
is that
his
new character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This was great. What did you think?
I am glad you loved it.
Oh no.
It is Ed McGuinness. It's just like a different style.
Oh, okay.
He did all that middle bit. If it was anyone else, then they didn't want credit, and it's not
a very different style.
I mean, it is unless you go back to that page and look at Doctor Strange's face.
Yeah.
Over there on the right. That's Ed McGuinness. I'm glad that you enjoyed this. The art is phenomenal. I think the plot is kind of cool, but it was fine.
Okay.
I don't know. It just didn't. It was like shot out of a cannon. I'm sorry, Nico Hendrickson. Oh, you're right.
Did the dream sequence? Yeah. I was like, I know that's not McGuinness. No one is nearly bubbly enough.
Yeah, something about this hit me wrong. I like to the point where maybe I take a break from Spider-Man. I don't know, man.
Okay.
I love his weird suit.
Yeah.
I think I don't like how Joe Kelly?
Yeah.
I think I don't like how he writes Doom at all.
Oh, okay.
Like at all.
Really?
But there's some really funny bits in here. Like during the whole opening sequence you talked about. Yeah, it's really, really funny, especially when we're seeing like forward and backwards in time of his excuses and then why they're excuses in real time. But yeah, I was enjoying this book the most when he was just Peter Parker talking with his supporting cast. Everything else was just kind of like plot devices.
His supporting cast are brutal this issue to him.
That's why I liked it. Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Like, the girl he's dating is just like, yeah, he's a fucking flake.
Yeah. I thought he had IBS. Turns out he's just full of crap.
Yeah.
Great line.
But the conclusion of the issue, gnarly as hell and kind of fascinating. Yeah, this was, you know what? I'm going to give it one more issue because this was so much setup.
Yeah.
Like, so much. A detrimental amount of setup with the Reeds of Resurrection and the this and the that. It's like, it was an info dump that I lost a lot of steam on. Because, I mean, maybe it's because I read all this stuff. So I didn't need it. But still, I don't know. It left me a little cold.
Okay.
Yeah. I admittedly also been looking for an excuse to, like, take a break after 70 issues in a row, which is kind of like a record for me. So
fair enough.
It gets one more for me.
Oh,
but
man. I love it.
It's good. It's not like a oh, I can't believe what they did with Spider-Man. It's just like my flavor of Spider-Man that I could wait for.
How many death threats are you going to send Nick Lowe, the editor, on Twitter?
3 to 5.
Oh, that's reasonable.
Yeah, 3 to 5 because, you know,
space them out though.
Not my Spider-Man, and why'd you fire Zeb Wells?
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah.
I'm in. I was really surprised.
It's been going on for 80,000 years. I mean, I don't love every run. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
But the concept of this is so strong that it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I just didn't care for this first issue that much.
Fair enough.
And it was almost exclusively the pacing. The art is phenomenal.
So good.
Yeah.
McGinnis, it was so good.
But you know what I felt like? What was that last miniseries Joe Kelly did? The nonstop.
Savage? Yeah.
The nonstop of the Savage.
Savage.
It was just like,
ugh, I hated it.
The pacing was awful for me, and then it was mostly an art book, and then everyone spoke in exclamation points, and I just didn't care. I
hated it.
Yeah.
That's why I was looking. I figured maybe this would be my jumping off point.
There's pieces of that in here that I just didn't care for.
Fair enough.
Style wise.
Hey, so the X-Men have so many books, as always.
Oh yeah.
And several solo books, including Psylocke, or I'm sorry, Phoenix, and whomst else? Someone else has a
Wolverine,
and now
Storm.
Psylocke. Storm. This might be my favorite of the solo X-member books. This is Psylocke #1 from Alyssa Wong and an artist who I don't know but quite enjoyed, Vincenzo Caruto, with colors by Fer Cifuente Sujo. This was I liked this a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
This is my favorite of the X books under Uncanny and X-Men.
Yeah, this was really strong. This read like, honestly, this read almost exactly the same like style and tone as Alyssa Wong's Captain Marvel that just finished up, that's fun too. Their Dr. Aphra. Mm-hmm. It has the same kind of frenetic style. I mean, obviously those two characters are different. Like Dr. Aphra is a lot more blasé and sarcastic than Quanon, and you know,
still getting used to that.
Quanon,
not Betsy.
I wasn't reading that much X-Men during that whole era, so it wasn't a very hard switch for me. But yeah, no, this is really strong. The panel work is really, really great. The art is really, really fun.
It's very Marcus Toe.
Yeah, and the conceit of the book is very simple and linear, which I enjoy. Like, do something clearly, and do something simple, but do it great.
Yeah,
I think a lot of comics don't do that. Like, I'm gonna they think that overcomplicating it is gonna make it like give it more gravitas or make it different. Like, no, be simple. She's stopping child traffickers.
Yeah,
just do it really well. And all is forgiven. You don't need to add like twisties and turnies. When they come, but like you can hook me with just good. Yeah. And that's what this is. I think it's just really good.
This was another fresh AF for me. I was like, because Storm was good. I like Storm.
Yeah.
Phoenix didn't grab me. I have half of the X books don't grab me.
I think I want to try because I didn't read the first issue. Only you did.
Yeah.
But everyone's been talking about it online.
Really?
It's like gone full cosmic. She's fighting Gore. And
that got me kind of curious.
And she's like,
Gore from Thor.
They basically, the whole idea is like, we're gonna make her an actual cosmic threat and cosmic protector because the Phoenix is cosmic. Like, cool, do it. So like Thanos, Annihilation, like make it an actual comic book, and that excites me.
Oh, okay.
So I want to give it a shot.
Cosmic Marvel
I do
fan.
love that stuff. Yeah,
Guardians and what have you. Yeah, this was another good one. If you're looking for an X-Men book to jump onto, because there aren't enough of them. Psylocke #1 was fresh out for me.
So far, I think this is the best of the miniseries. Yeah. Dazzler was the other one that was fine.
Did I read that?
I think I did, and I was like, if you got to skip something, you could skip Dazzler.
Okay, cool. I skipped it, I guess. So Black Lightning from DC Comics. All DC Comics presents All In Black Lightning #1.
Slap some respect on that.
Brandon Thomas, Fico Asio, and Ulysses Areola.
Okay.
I like the idea of Black Lightning. I like he's a family man. Mm-hmm. He was a
he had his own TV show.
I like that his family's got powers. I'm a big family fan. And I always jump in on a Black Lightning #1 to see if this will be the one that actually keeps me around.
Jefferson not doing it for you this time?
This was actually really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this. There's a new... Well, there's a whole conversation with Superman that serves no purpose.
Well, they have to just like inorganically make you aware, like he's there.
He's in the
Justice same League. Universe.
Yeah. They're all up in the Watchtower, and they have their own little subsection of the Watchtower run by, I believe it's Choi. What is his name? The Ray.
Adam.
I'm sorry. Something Choi.
I think it's Adam. Ryan
Choi. That's
Ryan.
It. And his little section is called the Shoebox, which is kind of cute because he's tiny. He's
what
a
about?
guy.
Well, yeah, no, I understand I get the pun.
Are you sure? Because I can explain it again.
See, a shoebox is small, and little things can live in a shoebox, and it's a mansion to them. So I get it.
Yeah.
But why do they need their own subsection? Is there something about their power set? Is it just all the people of color? Like, what's going on?
Well,
Ryan Choi.
No, yeah, I get it.
Like, why do they have a subsection?
I believe it's like his science lab.
There you go.
Yeah,
okay, all science characters.
Yeah. And this was really solid. If you are interested in Black Lightning or kind of curious about it, it's got a good reveal at the end. Being Black Lightning and being a father of two girls with superpowers and then fighting in a mazo in the middle of the sky and then him canceling out your entire family's powers at the same time, kind of rough, kind of brutal. So yeah. I was expecting something worse to happen because of that. I was really tensed up for something. We don't really get it. So this was like pretty fresh.
Pretty fresh?
Yeah. Like if you like Black Lightning or predisposed to enjoy Jefferson Pierce.
The most enjoyment I've had reading was the secret history or the other history of the DC universe. That was the last.
Was awesome.
John
Ridley.
I'm not a Young Justice person or a Justice League Detroit era, International era, or Outsiders, or basically everything that Jefferson Pierce has been like forefront of, or associated with, like embedded.
Yeah,
I've never read.
Just weren't into the team.
Or it's way beyond my time. Like I was not reading in the late 70s, early 80s when that all was popping off. And any revival of the Outsiders or whatnot that he's involved in was something that I never really...
Same.
Yeah, so it's like I almost have no history with this character other than that absolutely mind-blowing, wonderful miniseries by John Ridley. So
that was great.
Yeah.
And even that was only like kind of one issue of that book.
And this is, I believe, a miniseries?
I imagine, but I'm not 100% sure.
It looks like it looks almost like a little like the what is it, the Milestone stuff.
Yeah.
Like the art style. Oh, it's almost like a house art style for like those other Milestone books.
Yep.
Which are not in continuity? Or are they?
I have no idea. I'm not sure.
Is Static a part of like the...
Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know. Like Dakotaverse or whatever the hell. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to talk quickly about The Big Burn by Distillery, published by Distillery, written by Joe Henderson and Lee Garbett, which is the Skyward guys and the Shadowcraft guys and something else guys.
We read the first issue and quite enjoyed it, I believe.
Yes. Issue 2, just as great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The premise of this book is a couple of thieves who are in love of the game get caught and decide to sell their soul to the devil, blah, 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 to get out of it and live the rest of their lives happily, except that the devil removes love from their lives and they become husks.
Yes.
And
that's right.
Blah, blah, blah. Plot happens. The guy decides to set up a heist in hell to take their souls back.
That's awesome.
And this just kind of amps it up.
Yeah.
Like, it is a very grounded, like, the central climax or just like development of this issue is that we learn at the end of the last issue one of the characters is in denial and in a home or in a psych ward, and it's just we got to break them out. But it just escalates to the point of like after a while, like this whole issue feels like a side quest, and then it just clicks right back in towards the end. I'm like, all right, book, I get it, you're good.
So does it feel like a crime book? But how would you describe this book? Which subgenre?
It's not a heist, crimey, supernatural.
Lovey.
An actual heist book, a book that was more concerned with the heist or just like the mechanics of a heist would be way more technical and less hand wavy, like, oh yeah, I got a plan kind of shit. You know, like this is all real surface level in regards to like heist or noir
mechanics.
It's more vibes and supernatural.
Okay.
But so far, like 90% of this book has been more grounded than not. So like it's pretty good. It's a pretty good tightrope. Lee Garbett's art is great. It's not entirely flashy, but his panel work is just really, really great, and you flow with the story really, really well. This is a top tier book. This is the best thing I've read from Distillery.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean,
good
all the other stuff has been mostly horror that is good to not. Gone was fine.
I didn't even. Yeah. Didn't bother with that.
I didn't finish Spectrograph, but it's just, I mean, it's very good, but it's just Tynan doing Tynan.
Yeah.
You've read
Smart
5
Tynan.
of them. You've read 30 of them. Like it's his, like he has a speed.
Yeah.
And he stays in it. But yeah, this one. Somna, I didn't finish.
Oh.
I couldn't finish.
I only read the first issue, but I want to finish it.
I read the first issue. It's also like hella vibey.
Oh yeah.
This is, and then I didn't read Time Awaits. You read that. You didn't care for it too much?
I don't remember it.
Oh, cool.
I have no idea what that book was about.
Yeah.
And I barely knew what this was about until you just described it to me. I'm like, oh, right. That's what happens. Yes.
Okay, so maybe the problem is with our cognitive abilities.
Yeah.
Than it is with the comics.
Yeah.
But whatever. Yeah, no, this is pretty damn fresh. Definitely pick it up. Oh, the other one was the Stegman one with the
that
yeah,
was
you
not
didn't
for
like
me
it.
at all.
Yeah.
I did like One for Sorrow by Jamie McKelvey. So
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like
most of it. I loved it. Yeah, let's talk about a book that I begged you to read.
You did. You kept bringing this up, and I was like, but why?
I wanted to. Okay, so before you go, I have been on and off Power Rangers, at Boom Studios. It is a very, very good superhero book. I do not have a relationship with the show. I do not care. But these comics are fun. Fell off because they changed up a couple times, but this is a new #1. And I decided to give it a shot, thinking that it was just going to be like a shadow #1, and so much as like we're just going to continue like tons of other plots and not say anything.
Yep.
This is a genuine new #1. I did not know anything going on, but it didn't matter because I think that it was a very, very well constructed superhero book.
Yeah, it's a very good first issue for a IP that I've cared not for ever.
There is all of this. So like, it is I do not know how the last series ended. If it precipitated this reboot or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we are smash cut into a world where air quotes Earth has been colonized forever ago by other alien races, and now there's a caste system, and people Power Ranger or Power Ranger adjacent are persona non grata and must be reported. So it is just a Yeah, it's just
Future Rangers, I guess. I don't know.
I don't. That's just it. I don't know about any of these Rangers, but the way that this book is constructed, though, it gives you everything you need.
Yeah.
Which was something that I was just wildly impressed with, having read other stuff.
Yeah, so you were right. You were right. I enjoyed this a lot. I went in thinking, oh, Power Rangers, ugh, oy vey. And then, but I also tried to go in with like, okay, it's a new number one. Let's just set from zero. And this is just a really solid sci-fi introduction.
Yeah, they even give you like a speed round of the origin of some of what a Power Ranger is,
which I did not know.
Yeah,
didn't know any of that.
This was but it didn't feel inorganic. It didn't feel clustered in. It was just literally a one-page splash of history.
Yeah. This could have been a brand new series that I'd never heard of in my life.
I don't know enough about Power Rangers to know if this is in line with anything.
No,
but I know enough about Power Rangers to know that, like, oh, Eltarians are this.
Didn't know that. That's
what Zordon is.
That's the floaty head guy?
He's an Eltarian.
Gotcha.
That's it.
The Max Hedron?
Basically the only thing I knew.
Okay. You're one ahead of me.
Yeah. But this, I don't know. I just thought this was really strong.
Yeah, you were right. I'm glad I read it. I was really surprised. And the art's really solid, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the storytelling, everything is very nice.
Oh, we didn't say the creative team. I'm sorry. It's written by Melissa Flores with art by Michael Ying.
YG. I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Sure. Yeah. And Fabi Marquez. Melissa Flores did some previous Power Ranger stuff that I have not read, but I know her the most from Massiveverse stuff. She wrote The Dead Lucky and some Supermassive, and co-wrote some other stuff, I believe. She might have co-wrote Radiant Red. I'm not sure, but she's in that kind of like same circle of writers who we should pay attention to. This reveal at the end, no clue who it is, and it doesn't matter. Like,
no, I have no idea.
Yeah, what is that? I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's fine.
I guess it's not Rita Repulsa.
If it was, they would have put her in green. Even if they younged her down, they still would have put her in green.
Although she does seem to be wearing a similar necklace to someone else in the story, so I clocked that.
Ooh, I didn't clock that. Mm-hmm. I know this is. I would be interested to see where this kind of goes.
I want her to wash her hands.
Yeah, well, I mean that might be her thing. This is a strong sci-fi superhero book, and there's a reveal of another toy brand from the 90s that I'm like,
I was like, was that always part of this? I didn't realize. And then they also reference another toy brand from the 90s.
Yes. Yeah. This is better than it has any right to be, honestly.
I agree. Yeah, and the art, if anyone remembers Aspen Comics, it's kind of in the same art style of Aspen, of like Mike Turner-esque.
Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah.
There's one or two pages that are a little, like some talking head pages that look rushed, but like this looks rushed. Yeah. But other than that,
really solid.
Go Boom. And I'm glad that you didn't hate it.
Me too.
Like,
I hate hating things.
I wanted to press harder, like erase your mind and your preconceived notions and just read number one.
No, I did it.
Yeah.
I did all that.
It was good.
Yeah. We're going to wrap it up with DC presents All In Absolute Batman #2 by Snyder, Dragotta, and Martin. I was another pleasantly surprised experience of not really caring to read Absolute Batman. And then I kind of loved it. And then #2 comes along, still solid.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite thing about this is the suit. The suit that I really didn't like when I first saw it has really grown on me, and the different mechanics that it has. You've already read the first one, so it's not a spoiler, but the fact that he takes his bat ears and can take them off of his head and use them as little stabbies, so cool.
There's
also the way he uses the cape that I hate. I hate that look of that cape, and then he uses it, and I'm like, that's a pretty cool cape.
I especially like the little bit where when he's not actively using the cape, which has active uses for it, he wraps it around his neck like a big infinity scarf.
I love that look.
Like this is amazing.
It's so great.
Yeah.
So it's not like flapping all over I can't believe no one's done that before. He just wears it like one of those big H&M scarves. Yeah. It's so cool. God damn it.
So I want to talk about the structure.
Hated this. I hated the last page reveal.
I was okay with the reveal, but I did stop and think, like, you don't know where you're standing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't know. Yeah.
Like, you're inside there. You stepped
you
inside
not
that.
know?
How do you not know what you're inside of?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless it's that dark.
Well, wait. It was just... Oh, wait, no, okay. I'm fine with it. It was just a scaffolding. So he may not know that he's...
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I maintain that for a character that is supposed to be working class with he's not a billionaire, not a millionaire, not a hundredaire, I don't know how he has all of this stuff, and it has yet to be explained. If there's a good explanation for it, wonderful.
I think it was explained in the first issue.
Oh, please, maybe I missed it. I'm sorry.
They did a whole... so Alfred has been, doing information on him. And
info dumps for us.
Yeah. City civil engineer, genius, good with his hands, computer, and he had free ride everywhere for everything. And the implication is that over the last 3 or 5 years, he has been scrapping, pulling things together, taking things from work, and then abandoned places and turning them into hideouts. It's not, I bought this all. It's I acquired it all, and because the infrastructure of Gotham is
it's so stupid.
Porous.
Comic books and fantasy elements are such a sticky wicket for me, because there will be certain things that I will take at face value and I won't have any problem with it, and then there are other things where I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. How did he build that? No, I don't understand how he built that. That's so dumb. And I understand the dichotomy there, but there's just something in me where I'm like, it's great, but how did that happen? I have a similar problem with what we're going to discuss on this week's live stream.
Yeah.
And the Heretic. But
I don't know. So that's
the rest of it's great.
I got to tell you, that doesn't bother me in so much as they have set up Gotham as a series of squats and abandoned places. I do not
That's
have
cool.
I do not have issues with the idea of a civil engineer who knows the city back and front and can build a supercomputer out of a fucking, 2-stroke engine. Has been planning and plotting and creating spaces, his air quotes caves. That doesn't bother me. The bother me... Well, actually, nothing of this bothers me. I wanted to talk quickly about why I find this not to be a boring book.
Good. Go.
So every other version of Batman, especially every other version of Batman that Scott Snyder has written, and then just in memory, and why I think I get tired of him as a character,
Same.
is because there is incessant monologuing, in so much as I know his every thought and what he's doing. That is a trope that they overuse with Batman because they want to articulate how smart he is. Yeah. What makes this so effing phenomenal is that Batman is a force of fucking nature.
Yeah.
I'd said effing and then fucking whatever. He's a force of nature in this book. He is an enigma, and we are given the notes as background. We're giving the notes of... Or the field reports of Alfred, who is watching him.
Yeah, they've shifted the perspective.
They have made a character that's been around for 80 years mysterious.
Yeah.
Which is so gratifying.
Not that we don't get personal scenes with him and his friends, which I also love.
But we are not privy to his internal dialogue. No. We are not privy to his thoughts. We are not privy to his motivations.
Except for when he does think, I'm the goddamn Batman.
He never thinks that.
I know, I'm kidding.
Fuck you. like this, there's an entire sequence where Alfred is watching him, and the only thing that surprises him is he visits Joe Chill, his father's killer. It's not a spoiler. His father was killed. And there's a scene in there, or there's dialogue in here where I have no idea what he said to him, but I can only imagine. And the book does not tell us because we are never allowed to know what's going on in Bruce's head.
The camera he's looking through has no audio. So we don't know.
It is such a good turn of a character that I know everything about. And
especially from a writer
Yeah.
who has written Batman for so long that I'm kind of, when it was announced, I was like, oh, okay, another Snyder Batman, great. And this is really solid. I think
it's much more apparent to me too, because this year I finished his Batman run.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I read all of that.
In the omnibus?
Earlier this year, I was just, I got to the parts where you told me you dropped off.
Yeah.
I was like, not that bad.
I never dropped off. I just stopped liking it. I read the whole thing.
The super heavy?
Yeah. I read all of that.
Mr. Bloom was cool.
Yeah, it's neat.
But yeah, it's starting to overstay as well. You're not a Batmanium fan,
Batmanium?
Batmanium?
No. Oh,
Batmanium?
Dark Knight's metal, Dark Knight's death metal, all that, what have you. Not
Love
for me.
it.
It's too much.
But yeah, this is a great book. Everyone should be reading this. I think this is this the best now?
Maybe.
I think this,
and then Wonder Woman, and then Superman.
Embarrassment of riches. Yeah, but the second issues of each of those books might change my mind. So we're good.
Do we have time for a quick letter?
Yeah, let's do it.
Great. Fresh Floppies is the name of the email. From Christopher St. Saucy Goodnight says, I disagree.
Okay.
I think Batman is the better absolute, with Superman falling behind it just slightly and Wonder Woman being not nearly as good. I didn't love... It's so funny, like, responding directly to the thing we just said, accidentally. Yeah. I didn't love the art on it is the main reason. As for this week, quite the powerhouse week we have. Transformers, Absolute Batman #2, and G.I. Joe #1. I would rather G.I. Joe and Transformers came out on second weeks, considering we are down a book in the Energon universe. With... What are we down? Does he just mean like the miniseries is over?
Yeah, the two... So it was Void Rivals, Transformers...
And two minis.
Two minis. Now it's just... Transformers, Void Rivals, and G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
One book down, yeah.
With Absolute Superman, can we talk spoilers about it now? Because I have a lot of questions. I'm going to say yes.
Sure, it's been a week.
Did Brainiac crash on Earth in Kal-El's place?
Don't know.
Are we to assume he is in charge of the Peacemakers and Project Lazarus?
Don't know.
That's it. Chris St. Saucy, good night.
Maybe, sure. It's just at the very back of the book, or the last sequence of the book, there's a Brainiac-esque plugged into a bunch of things, looking at monitors, and then they associate with the Lazarus Corporation and the Peacemakers. I think he's watching monitors of Peacemakers doing stuff. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Not entirely sure.
I wouldn't go, maybe you're right, Chris, but I wouldn't go as far as to assume that, like, something else landed in his place years ago, so much as just this is some sort of version of Brainiac. Yeah. I don't know. Where are the Kents? I don't know. Maybe they don't exist. I'm growing older is not trying to think ahead of the entertainment. It'll tell me when it tells me. Yeah. Sometimes speculation is fun. Sometimes it breeds expectations, which just creates false impressions. Or I didn't like it because I was expecting something. Like, no, it's we'll see. Right now, all I know is that I love the caste system on Krypton and how it relates to how Kal is acting on Earth. I think that's really, really cool.
I just want to read. I had a quick interaction with someone on Twitter, a friend of mine, Joe. He said, dude, Absolute Batman is absolute garbage. To which I went, why? And he said, they Muppet babied the characters, for one thing, which I don't know what that means. I hate the recent trope of, they were all friends as kids. Never worse than in G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. But I wasn't down with knife ears or the axe either. Whereas I was like, oh, those knife ears are cool as shit. What is Muppet babied them?
He's talking
the fact
about...
that they're all pals?
He's talking about all of the... Bruce Wayne's circle of friends are all villains in another universe. Yeah. Because they all grew up in the same slums in Gotham.
That doesn't bother me.
Doesn't bother me either.
Oh, okay.
Like he...
I kind of like that whole scene in this issue, but I won't spoil it.
Yeah, I mean, what do we got? How many of them? 5. I saying their names, I guess, all their names were said in the first issue.
Yeah, it's his...
so Selina, Waylon being Killer Croc, Oz, and Harvey.
Yeah.
And then Bruce. There's 5 of them, and they all grew up together. There was pictures of them, like,
Did you say
as kids?
Nigma,
that's right.
In there too.
So there's 6 total, 6 friends, and there's a version of this where Bruce leverages those people and their different experiences. Like that's his network, and they don't even know it. I think that's really, really cool.
I think it's neat than just making them all, and maybe they will all become villains at some point,
or maybe they never will, and that's
what's
cool.
going. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't know where this is headed.
Yeah,
which is the cool thing about it. I love not knowing.
I don't think it's as the Muppet Babies of it all is that they were all kids together, and that's retconning. But I don't think it's not cutesy. It's honestly, it's utilitarian. I really like the relationship between Mayor, what's his face? Mustache McGee.
Gordon.
Mayor Gordon and that other character and
Pollock?
the other one that we're going to talk about.
Yeah. We won't talk about that.
There's just a lot of really great character work in this. And the panel, Dragota's art is stupid good.
I was not looking. I was super sad that I was like, oh, he's going to be drawing this. I hate his art on a superhero book. It's really good here.
He has leveled up hard.
Yeah.
The Nick Dragota that I was reading in East of West, this is not the same human.
No.
The Nick Dragota that I was reading on some of like the Superman fill-ins and stuff where it just seemed out of place.
Yeah.
This is not that same human being. This maybe it's the coloring, maybe it's the inking. There's a lot of like really cool tricks. The panels are so dense, it's stupid. This is Nick Dragota has gone from like B to A.
Agreed.
Like this is amazing.
For me, it's D to C.
Ouch.
Sorry.
Did you hear that, Mr. Dragota?
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think you're a very nice human. Actually, I have no idea. You could be a real prick. We did it. I'm really looking forward to our live stream at 8:00 when we discuss both.
Yes, this week's live stream, which normally airs Wednesday nights at 8. If you catch it live, that's great. If you don't, it's going to be on there for posterity forever. We're going to be talking about Heretic, the new movie that came out this past weekend, as well as the first season of The Penguin.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
It's going to be
Can't
cool.
wait to talk about it. I have one episode left to finish. I was up till 2 a.m. printing shirts and watching
I'm going to rewatch the whole season before the show today.
No, good.
Yeah,
Plenty of time.
Just plenty of time. I'm going to do it on two times speed.
Hey, email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com or, you can find us on Twitter and TikTok and all the other things.
Yeah, you dummies.
We love engagement, so hang out with us. All right, thanks so much, and we'll talk at you later.
Thank you for listening to the Cult Pop Network, home to podcasts, live shows, and a whole lot of fun stuff for every flavor of fan. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday night at youtube.com/CultPopGo at 8 p.m. Eastern. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we drop new Thunder Rounds and episodes of Fresh Floppies, a spoiler-free show about single-issue comics released each week. Until then, we'll talk at you later.